under the bright Aussie skies and said this year we'll be the one. Oi, oi, oi! What does it mean to be a part of a footy team? It's more than a game. The footy's in our veins. It's time to go. It's the Northern Footy Show. Get out of our way. We wanna see them play.
All right, guys, welcome to the Northern Footy Show. Sorry, you're a bit late. Bonner's pressed the wrong button.
Yeah, no, it's always my fault.
Welcome. We've got a couple of special guests in, but before we get to them, Bonners, you had a huge weekend away. We went visiting. What happened, mate? Walk us through your weekend.
I did. Got the message from Kingy to head down to the Bundoora 50th anniversary. It was amazing, to be honest, to see what a club means to people from years ago. 1974. Was the first year that Bundoora was up and running.
Good year.
Yeah, good year. It's 50-year-old people, you know. It's as old as you, which is a little bit scary for the footy club. But stuff that, yeah, as I said, I'd like to say, to write about in the next few weeks. I think that footy clubs from the past, from the Diamond Valley League and all the, you know, trials and tribulations, you don't actually get to hear, and all the stories on Saturday night was amazing. The old boys can definitely, you know, chew the fat a fair bit.
How many are better now than you remember them being? Has a bit of shine put on it?
Yeah, no, I think there's a little bit of mayo put on there. I know myself. I know I get better every year. I've been out of footy, but an amazing event. Shout out to Paul King, Nick Curtin, the guys that were actually running it, Phil Walker. It was amazing, and it really does, you know, bring that nostalgia back, and it makes me really miss local footy. So
we speak how the importance of being involved with your club is, trying to be loyal, and you know, as long as, my opinion, as long as you're advancing yourself, it's okay to leave your club to go up a division. But otherwise, that's why the point system's there, I guess, to try to keep you involved. But I know that when you go back to a club, whether it be a footy reunion or a cricket reunion, you know, I think my real average is probably about 30, but on those nights it's about 56 at cricket. You know, it does get a little bit of gloss.
I don't think I made you see you make double figures.
You're kidding, mate. No, I didn't. I stayed in the triple figures more often than not. But, all right, without any further ado, and well done, Kingo. I hope he gave you a smack in the teeth too, because you never tip Bundoora, which is un-Australian, I think. But let's move on with our special guest. We have Deacon Kalpakis to the left of me, and the seat does no justice because he's actually that bloody tall. And obviously Josh did the son. They've come in now wearing their South Morang gear. They're both South Morang boys, but they're both playing Coburg VFL at the moment. So, boys, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us, mate.
Thanks for having us,
probably
guys.
better that he doesn't have the Coburg as an ex-Preston boy, mate. I might just get a little bit rolled up. So, yeah.
Who won the last battle of Bell Street, mate?
When I played, we did.
No. Yeah, there's probably no fences back then. Deeks, thanks for coming on. Now, your season has been a really good start. I mean, you have both actually been, you know, Coburg Lion of the Week, or, you know, and you're in the stats every week. I look at your stats, I get heavily involved, and I love what you're doing. But walk us through your year, because this is very different to your last year at South Morang, where I thought you would have probably got picked up by a Richmond or a Carlton or a Port Adelaide or something like that. Tell us how it's gone for you this year getting into the VFL system.
Yeah, no, it started by the back end of Christmas last year. I went down for a run at Coburg, actually through JD and the list manager Jeremy Dixon. Started there just as a train on, no guarantees, just to have a run around and see how I went. That went on for a couple of months, and then was fortunate enough to actually finally get a list spot about February, and then I've just been training there ever since. There was no guarantees on playing at all during the year, but I've eventually worked my way through and into the side, and yeah, haven't really looked back. Now I think I've played 6 or 7 in a row since coming in. My first 4 games were at South Morang, where I thought I had some pretty good form, which warranted my selection at Coburg. And yeah, now I've found myself in that team and found myself performing week in, week out, and yeah, looking forward to playing out the rest of the year at Coburg.
Yeah, wow.
So how are you feeling about it? Like VFL footy it's an amazing competition, really. Now with the standard, the different teams interstate, like, it's a lot different than when we did it. So you're flying up, flying back. How have you found the standard? How did you find pre-season? And, looking forward, how do you see yourself going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pre-season was pretty big, I think. But
Josh is going,
it probably was a pretty big pre-season. But that's coming on the back of the fact that Coburg didn't win a game at all last year, so they had to put in the work. But I like training. I always put in the work myself, whether that's through a program or something. That I enjoy the grind in the off season to make sure I'm in good condition come the actual season. So put in a bit of a hard yards throughout the pre-season. Now we're looking like we're reaping, I guess, the rewards, getting some wins on the board, and we're competitive in a lot of our games. The next step really is just to start winning those close ones. I think we've won 3 so far, but yeah, we could have won a few more, but we've got a few winnable games coming up in this back half of the year, so looking forward to them.
I watch the games. I don't watch all of the games, but I watch a few of the games, and especially when I see you pop up and you've been in the best, and or your dad texts me and you're in the game.
Just take a quick
But I like watching, but to be honest, and I'm not kissing your ass along the way here, you don't look like a first-year player. Yeah. I see a lot of guys coming in and having their first game, and JD, you've been in the system for a lot longer. Yeah. You just don't look like a first-year player. You look so comfortable at this level, which makes me think this isn't your ceiling. You're young. How old are you? 21?
19, actually.
19.
20 next week.
That's just cruel, and I feel older.
You are older.
But that's, what a great opportunity to get the crack at the VFL. Now you're performing regularly. You're in the stats every week. You're getting player of the week. The opportunity is still huge for you, Deacon, at 19, yeah?
Yeah, still very young, as I said, 20 next week. But I've played some high levels of footy. I've been throughout all the rep squads, from the NFL to the Knights to Vic Metro 17. So I've played pretty high level footy, and but yeah, this jump to VFL is massive. Especially coming from a Division 2 side where maybe the football isn't as strong. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the step up. But yeah, I definitely feel like I'm comfortable at that level, and I've got a lot more to give. Obviously, I'm going to get better with age and experience, and I think my body still has a few years left of maturing and filling out, especially as a key position player. So
I'm filling out.
Yeah,
the wrong way.
Yeah, I need to fill out. Muscularly, but that'll come with time, experience in the gym. So, but yeah, I feel like I've got a lot left to give. But yeah, I definitely feel like I'm comfortable at the level, which is good to see.
And you, Josh, you've been in the system a little bit longer. Get the boy down. Is he overshadowing you, or have you just brought him down to make you feel better? And another South Morang boy there.
Man, it feels like he's overshadowing me a bit. Come straight in, and yeah, ever since he come in, he's been excellent. And like all the boys, even throughout pre-season, were telling me like, why hasn't he been here earlier? Like, he's taken it like it was nothing, not going to step up. So yeah, it was good to see Deke coming straight away and impress everyone.
Yeah, no glossing you over. You're having a stellar season as well, though. Absolutely. And your stats are absolutely amazing with Coburg this year. Last year, you were sort of in and out. Can I ask you a direct question? Did you lose a bit of passion last year?
Yeah, last year, like not winning games. Like I'm a competitor, and not winning games. Like I sort of lost the love for the game a bit. And by the end of the year, I was just like, mate, I'm not enjoying footy. So I asked Jamie, the coach, and I said, I just want to go back to South Morang to end the year. And I think that was the best decision I made, because like I enjoyed the end of the year with South Morang, and it sort of just made me love footy again. And just playing good footy at South Morang at the end of the year in the finals, made me realise how good I actually am, and made me realise that I can step up to the level.
Question for you both. I mean, we talk here. We're now 25 years or something since I was down at Preston, but we're talking about the same two Northern Footy League kind of clubs, still trying to find those players to get the wins languishing down the bottom. Do you see this kind of now link with the local footy? I spoke to you off air. I speak to Daz all the time. The way they've done the VFL now, you get the guys from the divisions, Division 1, Division 2 local footy. Do you see that now as a step that some of these local VFL clubs and the northern clubs can now start to push themselves forward with, blokes like yourself, Deacon as well, to come through the system as a young kids and now start to develop into, a more, I guess, stronger side? Because for years we keep talking about the northern VFL teams are the ones that are always trying to struggle. Do you see that as now a really good pathway and get some other guys up there to start now really starting to compete?
Yeah, 100%. Like whereas Coburg and Buoyant are both very young teams, and you can see last year we obviously had an off year, but Jamie sort of put it to us and said we need to get better with our bodies, and if you want to compete at this level, we've got to improve. And we brought in a few players this year, young talent as well from the NFL, like Trudge, and we've got a couple from the VAFA and stuff as well that are also young, and they've just fit in like it was nothing. And so obviously as young teams, and we're seeing that we can competing with the AFL line teams and beat them now. It's gonna just hopefully keep everyone together and hopefully just keep moving forward as the same group.
Yeah, and just on that, there's local footy. There's talent everywhere. It's just about trying to find the right kids and piece them together. Yeah. We're such a young side, and I feel like if Coburg can keep the current list we've got together and add a few more pieces over the years, we'll start to become more and more competitive, and we won't become like the laughing stock that most people see as with the VFL. And I think we can work our way up.
Yeah, we had that too, though. Because I came from an era of Preston. I reckon we won. I was there for 4 or 5 years. I think we won 25 games or something like that. So we still sit here now, yourselves and Preston, and it's great that you guys are starting to get those wins. Even Preston, to its extent, are competitive every week. Now getting thumped by 10 goals. Yeah. But I kind of wonder where, these teams, hopefully we can start to get these young talent through the footy leagues and start to get them into VFLs to get these teams back up to what they were in the 70s, 80s and 90s and stuff like that. So for me, it's a big passion being part of Preston for so many years. I still see this, see these two guys next to me and saying, well, this is the next generation that we now start to get those northern, suburb teams back up into the top 5 in the finals and start to get that success back again.
I agree. We speak regularly about that. We're doing an under 21 talent list at the moment in the NFNL. And we've had over 60 or 70 people send in names, and we're starting to go through their stats and so forth, and there is a lot of talent in there. Josh, I asked the hard questions here, right? So I'm going to give you the hard one.
All good.
Do you get a sore ankle after kicking this many goals in a season?
Well, it's probably the first year where I actually have, at Coburg at least, where I've actually been a consistent goal kicker, which is obviously good. And, it's felt good playing good footy at the level because, this is obviously my best year at the level by far. Yeah. And hopefully I can just keep it up. And
has your celebration changed? We've seen photos and it looks exactly the same. My celebration just a different hairstyle every time, but it still looks pretty similar.
Yeah, no, my celebration's either just a big yell or if someone's talking smack, it's going straight to them.
Absolutely.
So. Just like nothing on the weekend.
Straight in their face.
Yeah. Have you moved roles though this year?
Well, I trained the whole start of the season out of the goal squares.
Yeah.
Going to be coming out of the goal square, but the first 2 games I didn't obviously have the impact that I wanted to, and Jamie said, "All right, we'll get you up the ground." And ever since then, I've sort of taken the role into my own hands, and I guess
you look so comfy out there as well. And watching the games, you're just a natural. And I got to tell you, when I do watch. The way you pick the ball up in the ground is just so fluid. Like you're just off. I just imagine that being sort of still the hardest bit, getting down to pick it up. You've sort of scooped it in one motion and the ball's gone.
The big leg of
it probably helps it on the low to the ground as well.
Didn't help me. All right, so we've got quite a few things coming through here. We're going to have to screen through them because there is a little bit of grief coming on here, so we better make sure before we put them up.
Just quickly before we do it, you played with a few of our mates from you got halves and you got Sammy Hutton. Has Sam Hutton got the worst mustache ever known to man? It's a horrible.
Has
Has
he
he actually been able to
he?
grow it?
It's not great.
Thank you. I thought I felt like I was the only one. So,
He's
Hutto,
he's
mate,
still
you've
12
got to work
in
on it.
puberty.
Yeah.
David Luke, how long will it be before South Morang play Division 1? I'm not the right guy to answer that. You guys are. Is it the year?
I think this year is really the year. Like our team is definitely just rolling along at the moment.
Yeah.
I think we're 10-2.
Yep.
At the moment. Obviously knocked off Diamond Creek away.
Yep. Whittlesea was close.
Had a 7-point loss to Whittlesea. But come finals time, once we get our full best 22 on the park, hopefully. We've got a few out injured at the moment to come in. And obviously, hopefully Josh and myself can get back into that side. And it looks like it's going to be a good final series. We really have the internal belief that this year can be the year.
All right, well, we'll come back to the other ones before we get there. Now, I just want to go through a couple of stats. So in your couple of games at South Morang this year, Deeks, you're averaging 30.3 disposals in your 3 games when you've been at Morang. You've averaged 10.7 marks a game and 154 fantasy points. Like, mate, pull your head in, miss a few, kick a few on the floor or something, and that's pretty good. They're amazing stats.
Yeah, they're good stats, but it definitely helps when you take the kick-ins as well. So there's an extra 7 or 8.
Is your dad plugging these stats in? What's going on?
And definitely helps taking a few kick-ins. But I don't read too much into the stats.
I do.
Well, I reckon you should, because it's when you look at it, you're saying your first few games at South Morang, and then you get the jump into to Coburg. I mean, looking at those stats, there's no other way that you have to be playing Coburg for those type of things. So I take notice of them, and I'm pretty sure that they do too. So
pretty impressive.
It's a good run into the VFL as well. So.
Well, just because JD's not quite up to it, let's talk about his 2 games at South Morang. He's kicked 11 goals, averaging 5.5. 140 fantasy points is your average as well. Used to get a room. Now, Kira has given me a little bit of dirt on you guys. Let's bring this up before we go to a quick break. Is it true that you guys have got a bit of a bromance going on at the moment? Do you rock up together in the car together every week with apparently love songs on the radio? I put a bit of extra on it with the love songs.
I don't know about the love songs. We definitely listen to a few sing-alongs, but JD comes and picks me up every week before the game and takes me down to wherever we're playing. So, there definitely is a little bit of a bromance. But
it's very cute.
All right, boys, go in the same place. Nothing wrong with going in the same place.
It's just on the way. It's on the way. So.
And petrol's so dear now, mate. So much better.
He's got a fuel card. That's
right. That'll do it. Your dad's the richest bloke in South Morang. What's going on? All right, so we're going to go to a quick ad, and LJL Custom Cabinets is a sponsor of South Morang as well, so the most fitting to have them
At the Northern Footy Show, we are proud to announce LJL Custom Cabinets as our partner in sponsoring the Top Gun Goal Kicking Challenge. Rick and his team at LJL Custom Cabinets are the #1 choice for kitchens, cabinets and all custom work. Support the local businesses that are supporting grassroots footy. Contact Rick today.
All right, so welcome back, guys. We're just going through the messages and screening them and making sure we can put some of them up, but it's all right. This is the worst sport to have friends in, I reckon, Bonners. But we'll get into Kane Hall. He seems to be on fire. This Josh Dintasanto guy, who can't even spell your name, not that I could either, I had to Google it, has definitely got some tickets on himself, and he thinks he's the grouse. And then your other mate, Blake, has come on and said, far out, these flogs love themselves. Going on. Who needs mates, eh? And this Josh guy oozes arrogance. I'd argue he oozes skill as well. And we may as well get into Kyle. Josh D has a full Henry on his dot. I don't know what that is, and I don't want to know. I definitely don't know. All right, now, guys, what we do here each week, and we're going to come back, we've got a ton of other questions for you, but we're going to get into Divvy 3 first. Bonners asks the hard questions. You've got to give us the winner and a margin for Divvy 3. Let's go, Bonners.
We're starting off with Kinglake v Epping. Who we got?
I think Epping is on top of the ladder, aren't they? So
they're fourth.
Yep. They just took Murder.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Epping. I'll go Epping by 5 goals.
Nice.
Yep, I think Epping pretty easily. I'll say 30 points as well. But have you got a message for George Yankos?
I will get to that. Don't
Right.
you worry about that, George. I got your message, and I've got a reply very shortly. So I reckon Epping by about 60 points, honestly.
Yep.
I think that these guys are humming. Taking down Mernda a few weeks earlier, they really pushed a lot of the top teams. So I think Epping pretty easy.
They're on fire.
Now, this is a game I'm looking for. It's a game I saw at Parade the first time. It's Fitzroy Stars v Old Paradians. For me, the two of the top three teams are really going to contest Division 3. So, what do we reckon?
You want me to start? I think Fitzroy Stars get this done by about 6 points.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going Fitzroy by about 3 goals.
Yeah, I'll go Fitzroy as well. I think it picked up a few this year as well.
Yeah. Half of Bundoora.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Proctors that weren't signed there.
Yeah, there's a new one, Jai Proctor. I'm not sure if you saw a few weeks ago, but Jai Proctor apparently now plays for him.
A quick one while we're there. Josh Wanganeen plays his 100th for Fitzroy Stars this weekend. Congratulations, Josh.
We still haven't got that 100 for Mungara, though, so we need to get that one extra game. We need to pick him for one extra game to get his 100. So, Jacko, come on, get stuck into him.
Some of the stuff coming through on Messenger is just not right, but okay, we'll get to it.
I reckon Fitzroy Stars by about 12 points.
Yeah.
So,
we're agreeing again, Bonners.
Yeah, I know. This has got to stop. I'm starting to get annoyed about it. Ivanhoe, Heidelberg West.
I think Ivanhoe, but not by much. I was a bit disappointed with Ivanhoe on the weekend. Reservoir got close, and all the credit to Reservoir for doing it. But Ivanhoe, if they're going to contest, they need to win this and win comfortably. But I think they'll get it done by about 13 or 14 points.
Pick one, mate. There's 2 different points. Which
Right,
one would you like?
Ivanhoe.
By what, 13 or 14?
I'm going to go 13 and a half.
I knew you'd do that. I knew you were going to do that. Boys?
I'll take Ivanhoe by 10.
Oh, I'll just be different and go Heidelberg.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, it's not a bad comment because every week, there's an upset and we never pick it. So I reckon Ivanhoe by about 24. I reckon.
The one comment I left up there was about your dot.
I was just about to tell you that. That's why I looked at the screen and saw it.
All right. I'm going to go through it.
All right.
I've got Mernda and Old Eltham.
All right.
So, George, I got your little message about my talents back in the day, but I'm
Or
pretty
lack
sure,
thereof, I think.
I think there was. Wasn't good enough to make it, I think was a comment.
Something like that.
But I'm pretty sure I got a lot closer than your good self. So I'm not jumping off Mernda. I've always been on the Fitzroy Stars. So if you're going to have a crack, come on the show. Let's do it face to face, and I'm pretty happy to do it to your face. So we've got Mernda, Old Eltham. Who we got?
Oh, firstly, that means George would have to stay back at work after 3, so that's not going to happen.
Well, I think if I put the gauntlet out there, we might be able to keep him. But yeah, what are we looking at?
I've lost 2. Was Mernda.
Oh, wow, Mernda. This is why I
Mernda
read
and
the
the
stuff out.
Turtles.
Mernda and the Turtles, exactly right.
Mernda by 66.
Oh.
Big one. Easy.
Wow.
Yeah. I think the Turtles have lost 5 in a row.
Yep.
Mernda obviously just lost, but I'm tipping them to bounce back. We'll go Mernda by about 5 goals.
Yeah, I've got a few mates at Burner as well, so wouldn't hurt to see them lose. But Riley Vincent's out with a concussion at the moment, so he's not playing. So
Is that because you got the questions right or wrong?
I don't know.
Might work some sense into it.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually think Old Eltham will go. So that's really going to stir up Georgie. I think they're
Fletcher's going to have you on toast.
Yeah, I know. He's going to kind of have me. Do we just say they've gone back in their shell, or do we just kind of move on to something like that?
Move on. All right, so that's the end of that. Who's got the bye this week?
No, we've still got Reservoir Laylaw,
All right.
which is going to be, to me, the match of the round.
All right.
So
I'm impressed with what they did last week, Reza, but I'm more impressed with Laylaw this year. But I reckon it's going to be close. I'm going to say Laylaw by 12.
Okay.
Couple
I'm
of goals.
going to go with Reservoir off the back of a competitive loss against Ivanhoe, so I'm going to go with Reservoir.
Yeah, I'll go Laylaw.
Yeah, no, I'm going Reservoir too, actually. I think
Right.
that you're eventually bound to get over the line. What they've done the last few weeks has been fantastic. So I really hope that they, get across the line and start to get that
Yeah,
belief
so
up,
do
like Laylaw have over the time. So and the bye this week is Kilmore, so Kangaroos get a bit of a week off down at the ground down there. So we should be going all right.
Well, that's Divi 3. We're going to jump into a couple more questions for the boys, but not
Not
until
from here.
not until we get through about 47 more sledges to them. Kane Hall, Epping first on the ladder, you reckon? Kane, might be time for you to come on the show as well and let them find learn your facts before jumping on the show, genius. You sure you're mates?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We got to get rid of that one.
Yeah.
Great role model for our juniors, absolutely. And that is a really good point, but despite them getting slagged off here, they are very good. I'm tipping you guys. No, Tippy Cow.
Yep, that's my auntie.
Yes. Perfect. Yes, I did hear that actually. Yep. So excellent and spot on. Is it true that JD is a talented singer?
Well, he's the only one that can tell in the car. So yeah,
true.
What do you sing?
Oh,
I've got a guitar over there. Maybe we can finish the show that way.
I've got a little bit of it.
Oh, a little bit of
There we
tickle.
go. I've got a sore throat on rubbish.
Well, if you change your mind, the guitar's there. We can belt out some beautiful country together, or a love song for you and Deacon, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
All right. What else have we got?
There you go.
Singing song, right? Jesus, this is. You could be performing at the end of the year show here.
You've got no mates at Moonda, mate. Don't lie. I was waiting for someone to put there. Like, there's no mates.
Another one. They're all in there. Stop doing tricks, Daz. Mate, I'm not doing tricks. This is as good as I can do. I'm going as well as I can. Culture's a ripping bloke. JD, very talented singer, as good as he can play footy. Oh, this is building. This is building to something special. Oh, look at this.
There we go.
Even the club's going on. Gary's pressing the button and... jeepers, this is getting serious. Oh, my God. You should be on, what is
Young Talent Time. You could do with
I don't know what Young Talent Time is. Suit and tie, Justin Timberlake.
There you go. Oof. Is that a truth?
No, I sung it at the Man O Man.
18. Well, we might have to. We're definitely going to get you on for the end of the year. And there's one more, and we'll get into the next letter. He loves to belt out a track, too, because this has got some serious legs on it.
All right, let's move on. Let's go to actual football here. How have you found the club for VFL? I know myself being there. It's a fantastic place to be. The professionalism of I've only known Preston myself, but how have you found the club? Has it been really engaging? You're loving what with the supporters and that as well. They all embraced you.
Yeah, I'll go first because I've been there for a few years, and ever since I got there, it's just pretty much been getting better and better every year. Like the supporters are we've got a group of boys called the Terrace, which is like just a few older players and were they around when you?
Yeah, they've always been around.
Yeah, a few older players and a few of the big supporters of the club, and they tip some money into the club every year, and we've actually got an award named after them every year. So
awesome. They're
at every home game cheering us on. But it just feels like a local club. That's why I love playing there so much, especially I don't know what it's like at a line club because I've never been to one, but just playing at Coburg just feels like it's just your group of best mates. Like even after the game on the weekend, we played in Brisbane, and we had 20 boys after the game stayed back, and we all went out in Brisbane together, which is just it's just good to see for the club.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely got that local feel to it. I mean, it obviously helps me coming in knowing Josh and a few of the other boys that I've either played against or played with somewhere along the way. But yeah, definitely got that local feel to it, and it just makes you feel so comfortable. But yeah, really absolutely loving it. And yeah, just can't wait to continue my time with Coburg.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm hearing is the next level still has that same vibe.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome. Tell me the pathway. So there's a 16-year-old kid, a 15-year-old kid now kicking the footy around. He's got some talent, and he says, I want to do like these blokes. I want to play VFL, or I want to try to get to the AFL, and these are the steps we're going to do. How do they get there? Or what's your advice to them? How do they present? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, don't you have to be invited to go to the nights?
Yeah, you have to be invited to the nights. I guess it kind of all starts from your local, your interleague from when you're 13, 14. Starts get your name out through those rep squads, and then you work your way up until you're 16s, and then you got your nights programs. So yeah, I guess you just got to try and continue to work hard, just play your footy, but most of all enjoy your footy. And then, I mean, if you're good enough, you'll get there, but you obviously have to put in the work, put in the hard yards. You got to do the extras, whether that's training by yourself or doing your own pre-season. Just continue to work hard, and eventually, you never know who's watching. That's what I've been told. So just put your best foot forward, hope that someone will eventually find you.
To take those opportunities as they come. Is that right, Josh?
Exactly right. Yeah, Deke's pretty much hit the nail on the head. It starts from when you're playing local at a young age, getting picked for those NFNL squads or YJFR squads, wherever you play, and then moving up into the Knights, playing at the Knights, and then, if you're lucky enough to get a call from a VFL club or an AFL club, you've got to take the opportunity and don't take a step back.
I know he was going to say something. So,
my phone went ding. I can't believe you didn't ping me $50.
You're already up to $2,000. So to be honest, I don't know how much more we can go. But also, we were saying this before that the about 20, 25 years ago, once you hit 18, 19 and you weren't in the system, it was a lot harder to get in the system. Yeah. But the amount of local footballers now that are getting drafted, rookie listed, up to the age of 24, 25, I think there was a 28-year-old the other time got a chance pre-season last year. Yep. So I think that the way they're doing football now makes the actual AFL dream more than just a pipe dream than what it used to be once you're 20. It actually means that there's a pathway that actually leads you into the possibility of getting drafted, like yourself, even yourself, Josh, as well, that there's no end product to say that you can't get drafted at 24, you can't get drafted at 25. So I think the way they do it now, the pathway is so much clearer than what it was back in our day.
Yeah. What's the diet like? Is the VFL got a diet on you? Are they measuring you for?
You can't do that now. Can't do it anymore.
We've recently had to. We do have a nutritionist dietitian. When I first went to the club, we did have skin folds. But I've heard that's recently been abolished.
Yeah. Right.
So there'll be no more skin folds, but.
They need the calories of life for me. So.
Yeah, I just eat whatever mum cooks. That's normally pretty healthy and pretty good food. So that keeps me in good nick.
And you, Calpacas boys, you aren't hit with the fat stick at all. There's nothing obvious there. You're pretty trim. And you've got some good size on you, though, as well. Yeah. How old are you now, Josh?
I'm 22.
22. So in footy, you're still a baby. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities. But, you're a bit stockier than young Deeks, but, and you're a bit smaller as well. But are you having to continually try to put mass on, or are you trying to maintain where you're at? Are you happy?
Much happier than what I was last year. Like, last year I was playing it like a much heavier weight than what I should have been, and that's pretty much what Jamie and the boys said to me at the end of the year. They said, we can, like, you know how, like, what sort of player you can be, but you're not doing yourself any justice. How you're playing this year. And so I went away at the preseason, did everything I needed to, lost about 6 or 7 kilos, which is probably a reason as to why I'm
doing so
much better this year. So,
how much weight were you carrying in one of these, boys? Let's have a look at these for 1 second. Who have we got first? That's got to be Josh, because he's still got the same finger pointing.
It doesn't change, but I told you.
He was weighing about 8 kilos there. In your South Morang, so you're obviously a South Morang junior from day dot. Is that right?
Yeah, started playing. I think that was my first ever game under 9s at 6 or 7 or something like that.
It looks like you kicked the goal because your fingers up nice and early. So
mouthing off to a bloke in the crowd, maybe.
A born forward. and who's this little fella here? He's just, Dad's made you take that photo.
He's got me right in the sun, so I can barely see it. Some sort of medal around my neck. Can't remember what that was, but I think that's that Lawrence ground.
It looks like it, and obviously we had a photo of both, but Bonner's plucked out some other player. Anyway,
to be honest, he's been on there. Blake has been on there.
Has he? I don't know. Okay. All right. So, yes, a little bit of a Knights photo, and then we get to the now. So, a little bit of a height difference there. Yes. Going on. I've never felt smaller than when you walked in. I know you're tall and your brother and your dad are huge, but like, Jesus Christ, it's looking up, getting a bit of whiplash. All right, now let's talk about you're coming back to South Morang at the right end of the season. Now, I reckon a lot of clubs are shitting their dacks over this one, because to get 2 very talented players that are doing amazing at the next level would scare the crap out of me if I was a Dymo or Whittlesea. You know how we're going to match up on these guys. They don't get to look at you too many times this year. I think you're playing at Morang this week. Which will have you qualified. You're already qualified. You're going to have a rest this week. The season's going to be the right time, cherry ripe for you guys. Coburg won't play finals, unfortunately, but you're gonna try to get Morang within 3 years to Division 1.
Yeah. So that's the plan. So I've already played the 2 this year on the 2 bye weeks we had at Coburg, and we've got another one which is pretty good to play the 3. So now, after I play this weekend against Lorimer, I'll be qualified and come back for the finals, which will be good.
Yeah,
hopefully win a flag.
And fortunately for me, at the start of the year, before I cracked into the Coburg side, I think I played 4 or 5 for South Morang, so that qualified me for the year. The last bye week, I had a week off to get the body right and just get myself cherry ripe, and that's what I'm doing again this week, which will hold me in good stead come finals time. I get an extra week of rest on everyone, which will hopefully get us towards the line and where we want to
the big dance.
Yeah, mate, I sense a conspiracy there. That's 3 buys. The man gets to play 3 games. I reckon there might be a little bit of funny business going on between Coburg and South Morang, but that's to a different day. So,
Bonners, let's get to Division 2.
Speaking of Div 2, we may as well do your game first.
I'm interested to see who they tip.
South Morang Lorimer, the addition of the good man next to us ourselves. What are we thinking, boys? How much? Come on.
Lorimer are doing all right at the moment.
Yeah, no, they've definitely been competitive. They're not going to be no easy beat. They're not going to lie down. And there's a bit of rivalry in this. Obviously, dates back to a grand final. But yeah, I think South Morang will get over the line, and I've got JD kicking 5.
Well, he has to kick 5.5 really to keep up to average.
Yeah,
Just kick 5 goals 3.
Yeah.
Look, I love Jim, but I can't do it. South Morang is seriously, for me, one of the 3 sides. There's only 3 sides, in my opinion, that can win the granny this year in Diamond Creek, Whittlesea and South Morang. Now, don't send your hate mail in. Just keep sending it to JD. I'm just being realistic. I think they're the only people that can win it.
Yeah.
But I think South Morang probably get this done by 70 points.
Yeah, I've got actually it's starting to struggle to agree with you every time. But yeah, I think they do it very easily. But as I said, Lorimer's learned a lot in the first half of the year. I'm really keen for them to really start to show their colours in the second half of the year. Can't see it happening this week, but probably around the 60, 70 mark, I reckon, as well, which, we've had just good discussions about Lorimer, but the big jump is, I think they're finding how big a jump it is from second to first division.
I do think JD kicks 10. 10 against Lorimer.
So 10 of these? Or?
We're going to get a photo of every single one, all right? Off the highlights reel.
Second game, St Mary's, Lower Plenty. At St Mary's. So if it was the other way around, I reckon it'd be a lot more.
I was a bit disappointed in Lower Plenty last week.
Yep.
But if I can have a side to that, I'd say Northcote Park are coming like a freight train.
Yep.
Like they are the best informed side, in my opinion, outside of the top 5. But St Mary's should get this done. If they don't, that will probably cost them a final spot nearly, I reckon.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take St.
Yeah,
Mary's.
take St Mary's as well.
Yeah, get on the St Mary's, boys. So, Whittlesea Tomo.
No-brainer. Whittlesea 45. For me, Tomo's... I'm going to get in trouble here, but
as opposed to what? You get in trouble every
they're a bit cooked at the moment. I expected Thomastown to give more. Call it for what it is. They've got a couple of goal kickers, but they have not performed to the level I thought they were capable of this year. I tipped them to finish in the 5. So, that's an easy one for me.
Yeah, I'll take Whittlesea as well.
Yeah. Whittlesea for me as well.
Panton, I'll go Whittlesea as well. Panton Hill, Watsonia. This is more of an interesting game. At Panton Hill, though.
Watsy. I think Watsy's done enough for me to impress me this year. It's probably only an 18-point game, but Watsy, I'm impressed with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Watsy are in pretty good nick they gave for South Morang.
Yeah. When we went and watched them when we were playing on the Sunday, and Watsy looked good. So
I'll go Watsy.
Yeah, I think Watsy as well. The last game, Northcote Park and Diamond Creek.
Ooh, well, I tell you, I'm gonna throw something right up here, and this is gonna. You reckon I was in the shits 2 minutes ago with Thomastown? I'll be in the bigger shits now. I just think Northcote Park can get this done, and I like Diamond Creek. I want them to do well, but this is, you need to impress me. If you're going to play finals, if you're going to be in the big dance, you need to win this and win this well. Northcote Park are playing amazing football, Bonners. In the last couple of weeks, they've kicked more scores than anybody else. Their percentage is as good as anyone to be in the top 5. They got all their players back. This will not be a walk in the park. I'm going to say Northcote Park by 2 points and the goal after the siren.
Wow, geez, big call. I got to watch the Northcote Park South Morang game firsthand, and they were up by, I think, 40 points somewhere in the third quarter. JD played. They're really humming at the moment. They're coming like a freight train. So I'm going to go with Diamond Creek by less than 10 points.
Wow, I'll go Diamond as well, but 3 or 4 goals,
I'm actually agreeing with you. You're seeing this. Yeah, no. I'm seeing some very familiar names in the best of North Park with the name Ahmed.
I know.
At the end.
And commenting on the show too.
Yeah, exactly. So when there's 2 Ahmeds playing good football at North Park, I think you're going well. And I think that the first half of the season didn't do justice for how they were actually playing.
Yeah.
So I think if there's going to be an upset this round, I actually think Northcote Park by about 2 goals.
Okay. Yeah. Agree.
So it's we've seen them and their results they haven't always gone their way. They've probably dropped in the last quarter. They've given teams a head start. I just think they're starting to get all their players back. They've picked up a couple just before the end, and I actually think they're a team I wouldn't want to play in any.
No. You'd be hoping you got them at the start of the season.
So,
all right, before we get to Divi 1, we better get on to here. The love's still coming. I'm not sure if it's a love, but Grant King, Spot on Boys, never know who's watching you. Is that like what you did last summer or something?
Yeah.
Like that? I'm not sure what happened there. JD doesn't. I don't have my glasses and I can't see far enough to read what these are, so disagree with you there, Daz and Mitch, Blake Fitzgerald. What are you disagreeing about, Blake?
Everything you say, probably.
That's probably fair.
What I do.
That's probably fair. Well, mate, the seat's always here. Blake, come in and tell me what I've done wrong. Ask Josh about his pre-game meals. Is it McDonald's or something, Josh?
No, it's not McDonald's. It used to be. Before a game, I don't really enjoy eating.
Really?
Like,
okay.
If it's a early game,
I've never
I'm the same. Yeah. Exactly the same.
Yeah. So if it's a later game, obviously I'll have to eat. But this year, the last few games have been like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock games, so I haven't really eaten until I've got to the ground. I had a couple of bananas, and that's all I've eaten, to be honest.
Yep, that's I don't suffer any of this not eating thing, but
I couldn't do it like before a game because the adrenaline was already kicking. Early games, I couldn't physically eat. So, and then you get cramp at the last quarter. So,
Cole Wheatley, ask JD how many Cokes he has before a game.
No Cokes. Morning of, not before.
Peter Westbury, 70 points. Nothing in particular. He just thought he'd put the number 70 plus up.
It's not his IQ, so that's a lot lower than that.
A lot lower than that.
Might be actually what his teeth are worth. So. Yes, I can. I told you, if I get it right, he's sitting right next to us and he's handing over $50. That would do my year, I reckon.
I reckon this says Northcote Park, not Northcote Park.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, Nifty. And Layla, you reckon he's a knocker? And Layla could both win. I reckon you're spot on, Nifty.
Absolutely.
100%. I'm with you the whole way. I am a great participant of the show.
Yep.
Always logs in. All right, let's jump into Division 1. We try and wrap this up in 50 minutes.
What are we, an hour and 20 already? Or?
Before you start, boys, you first played together in 2013. You were under 9s and you were under 12s and you filled in with JD. Really? True or false?
Oh, true. My old man actually told me that before I came on the show.
Oh, then I don't have to reveal my source at least. Absolutely true.
Fun fact.
Yep, now they just drive together singing Islands in the Street.
It's where it started. And gave him a lift home.
All right, let's go. Divi 1.
This is a cracker. Heidelberg Banyule.
Top 2?
Yeah, top 2.
Easy, Heidelberg. Yeah. Heidelberg, unfortunately. Look, Banyule did really well on the weekend because that game was in the balance for a while and they came back pretty well. I watched the replay of that last quarter and Banyule looked sensational, to be honest. But Heidelberg, but not by tons. The hardest one, I reckon, 18 to mate. I'll call it 18 points.
Yep.
I'll go Heidelberg. I reckon they get it by 6 or 7 goals.
Yeah,
I know a few of the Banyule boys, and I know they've got a few out actually.
Yeah, overseas.
Yeah, but they're really impressing this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to saw the first game of them, and I thought Banyule were great. But you're playing Heidelberg, every pretty much game is going to be at home for the second half of the year. So, Heidelberg I only reckon by about 4 goals. So, you're all right with that, Josh?
Yeah. No, I've got a boy back as well. Davin Cameron's been playing with Coburg.
Yes, he has. Absolutely.
He's back at Banyule this week. I think he's playing.
It's handy.
So,
very handy. He was an ex-South Morang boy for a year or two, wasn't he? Yep.
How many of the South Morang boys are in VFL at the moment?
Us two. And then we had Davin, but unfortunately, Davin went to Banyule this year.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Jolie Fitz used to play at South Morang as well.
Yep.
He's Williamstown. So
Yep.
He's a Bundy now.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
It's really good to hear.
Cam
that.
Wild,
Yep.
running away now at Port Melbourne. So there's a few.
It's really good.
Juniors, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's great to see that the Northern Footy League's now represented in VFL a lot more. Who's copping it?
That's you. 70 points was one of those. And did you play VFL Boners? We're sure we only tell us this each week. It kills me to say, but so many people tell me he was a good footballer, which breaks my heart more than yours, Westy. But I'd love to tell you he was rubbish.
Westy never had a heart. So
he was apparently pretty good. All right, keep going.
Greensey, North Heidelberg. Now, you've got some info on all that. So.
I don't want to. Yeah, look, Greensey will win this. North Heidelberg's been hit with the injury stick pretty solid, and that's a shame because they're a bloody good side, but it's opportunity. We both know when someone goes down, someone can step up and they get their opportunity they've been waiting for. So, but I think Greensey get this done by a couple of goals,
Yeah. I'll trust your mail.
I'll go with Greensey. I'll trust mail as well,
Yeah, no, I think Greensey get it done.
Yeah.
So, Hurstbridge, Bundura.
This is easy.
Bundy by how much?
Piece of piss. Bundy by 64. Yep. I'm confident. Don't send in any more hate mail. Wow. Look, I'm making it up as I go. Anyway, it's Bundura by a point I usually go by. Look, it'll be a great game. The last one, I think, 3 points separated from memory. I could be wrong. Maybe it blew out in the last couple of minutes, but we had the Hursty boys in here last week, so I hope the VFL has picked up a couple of players this week from Hursty. But, look, Bundy's got a good side in. The talent they've got is all right. Not allowed to mention the boy coming back this week, but he's having a good year. So I think, you get the right people in there. I think Bundy could win this and even the ledger up for the year. And if they do, that will absolutely leave McLeod up shit creek.
Yep.
I'll go with Hurstbridge.
Yeah, I don't want to go with Hurstbridge because Blake plays there, and I want to see him.
He will never be invited back.
No, I'll go Bundy then.
All right, you're back.
I'm going to draw because I'll get in trouble either way.
Kenny's not going to be happy with this. Kenny, tell him this is rubbish.
I think Hurstbridge win by that 4 goals.
Now, before you go on, Sean Smith for Hursty plays his 100th game this week, so congratulations, Sean.
Mate, English is your first language in Australia.
No, 50's hit me like a freight train. I'm slurring. I'm whistling. I said something the other day and I was whistling to someone.
Yeah, look at that over 60, mate.
Thanks,
Monty Eltham.
Easy. Monty.
Yeah, Monty.
Yep.
But they get a few back this week because they had a few out.
Well, they had Nash Holmes came back last week, but they got a few injuries as well. So, but I think Monty get it done by 30, 40 points. Bongo's done a great job with those boys this year, and
extended because of what he's done. So
and no Mitch Robertson this week. So
So it was a handy inclusion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was talking about this last week. I think it's fantastic that the AFL players come back. It gets attention to there as well. They get to see what the league's all about. So I've never been against it for one-off games. So I think a few clubs have now done it where we had Dane Swan. Prime Train came back for a game.
Yeah,
so I actually think it's fantastic. So it's a spectacle. We want to get more people to local footy, and they are good footballers. So why not, use them for what they can.
Is there any chance of you making a comeback, Bonners, or like a special?
Yeah, but you'd be paying money for 20 minutes because I'll do a calf or a hammy. I'll probably do both, to be fair, on both leagues.
Maybe Reservoir Reserves, you'd slot you in.
No, I still reckon I'd struggle. So if I'm one out the square, I'm all good. But once I get outside that 50 mark, no.
All right, next.
I'll get lost. No, we're all good. That's the end of it.
All right, now there's a couple of these are still flying through.
A couple of Coburg boys are coming now.
I promise you, we've never had so many questions in a night.
Couple of Coburg boys.
Favourite pre-game feed? This keeps coming up. There's something we're not learning here, JD.
No.
We just say he doesn't eat.
Don't
He's
eat.
already answered it.
So, how many?
Got no idea what it
A snus?
Yeah. No idea.
Me neither. If you don't know, I don't know.
No idea.
All right, we'll let that one fly. Favourite poke? you like the pokes, do you?
Not anymore.
Yeah, okay, got over those.
Yeah.
He quit this morning.
Yeah.
Crossed arms, safest bet. Boys love it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pump out the boys, mate.
Exactly
Get
right.
around the
Footy
DM
folk.
podcast.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, there's a plug.
Say something.
Say something, Deacon. I
There
thought
we
you
go.
speak.
No, yeah, very well.
He's doing a great job. Oh, we're in.
Oh, well. You might actually have to proofread some of
I
these.
can't see them, mate, that far. We need a bigger screen. Does JD have heavy rigid license for that dump truck? Oh my God. There's one more.
No,
JD's
that's actually
hairdresser's
very good.
phone number, please.
Oh, it's me. I'll do it myself.
Do you? Yeah, it looks like it. All right. So now, one more big shout out before we go, guys. Our little co-host, Sienna Bonadeo, is turning 11 tomorrow. Matt's daughter. She stands behind the camera for us pre-season, and we keep inviting her in. I need some help with the jokes, Sienna. So please come back on the show. I need you here urgently. She wears her footy shirt to school sometimes.
Yep.
We love her.
Very, very happy to wear
Her
it.
only downfall is Matt's her father. Well, actually,
It's a little bit
we haven't done it
well, exactly. It's a big call to be fair. So yeah,
boys, thank you so much for coming on. It's really important, and the viewership today has been amazing, the highest we've ever had. So live, you've got kids that are looking up to you at the moment. I think you're both absolutely decent young men. There's been so much love for you for coming on the show. We've had mums sending us pictures, and I've had to connect with some mums and say, I need this picture. And I've had so many beautiful inbox messages saying, how great both of you are and how good a role model you are. And that's what we need from, you sort of guys, and people looking up to you endlessly. So from my perspective, thank you so much for coming in. Bonners, any closing words for the boys?
no, just keep working at it. Enjoy the time that you have in the VFL, and get as far as you can. There's no ceiling to what you can get, especially you boys are now in the system. Make the most and make every post a winner.
Yeah. And guys, until next week, keep kicking goals.
Thank you, mate.